All right, so defensive end will be Jerry Jerry Mays. He will be the defensive end for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's starting out there, seven-time Pro Bowler, two-time All-Pro, won the Super Bowl in 1969. So again, he was part of that really good defense that won that Super Bowl. Reliable guy, honestly. All you need, leader, and everything. Just overall, guy that played for Kansas City for 9 years. So, like I said, not a superstar defensive end, no, not from what I can see, but valuable, yes. I think he's very valuable to this team. I think he'll be a great leader, and honestly, it's going to be fun to see him play, as he has been into the all 1960s team on some of these lists in terms of AFL or Pro Football Reference. So, yeah. All right, now defensive tackle, it's going to be Buck Buchanan. Where do you want a 3-4 defense? So just three linemen and then four linebackers. So that's going to be pretty fun. But yeah, Buck Buchanan, defensive tackle, Hall of Famer, 8-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, Super Bowl champion for the 69 Chiefs. The guy that got it done, one of the best defensive tackles in history. And like I said, he is a Hall of Famer. He has done many fantastic things, as well as be a part of that all 1960s team in the AFL. Just an overall fantastic lineman. He's going to get it done, stopping the run, getting to the QB, everything. And like I said, I do believe that those two guys together, they know each other. They were in the same defense as each other. Mays and Buchanan were. It's a good chemistry. They know where everyone's going to be. They know how they're going to play. So it makes it easier for those two. And you know, I don't see it as a terrible defense so far. All right, defensive end, Jared Allen. So Jared Allen, one of the best defensive ends in history. 5-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro. He's been everywhere. He's been with Chicago. He's been with Carolina. He's been with Minnesota mostly, and he's been with Kansas City. Jared Allen, well, yeah, he has been there for 4 years in Kansas City. In that span, he had 43 sacks, over 200 tackles, about, well, yeah, 25 pass deflections, 14 forced fumbles, 8 fumble recoveries. I mean, this is a guy that played with his heart. Definitely had a better time in Minnesota because he was mostly in Minnesota for his entire career. But yeah, this is a guy that was, well, he was a beast. And yeah, all I can say is that he's all rookie. He's been on some countdowns. Like I said, Pro Bowls, All Pros, so those count. And I do see himself as being a future Hall of Famer just because he has 136 career total sacks. This guy will be a Hall of Famer at some point in his life. And like I said, this brings a new element to the D line. It's going to be scary seeing Buchanan as well as Allen the same line. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen. All right, the left outside linebacker position, it's going to be Jim Lynch. Again, another guy that was a part of the 69 Super Bowl team, a Pro Bowler, a guy that played in 151 games, had 17 career interceptions, had 14 fumble recoveries, and I'm pretty sure he had a lot of tackles and a lot of sacks from what I could see. You know, another valuable guy to, well, what they need, what they want out of being a successful defense. So, yeah, not much else to say, but I think he'll thrive. All right, now the inside linebacker to the left side is going to be Bobby Bell, Hall of Famer, 9-time Pro Bowler, 6-time All-Pro, another member of the '69 Chiefs team that won the Super Bowl. I mean, had 26 career interceptions, 9 fumble recoveries, played in 168 games. I'm sure had a lot of sacks, had a lot of great moments where he just dominated. And he was a part of the all 1960s team. He definitely was a pretty avid. Just he was well known in that era for being one of the best defensive players in that generation. So overall, Bobby Bell, you just bring a Hall of Fame mentality out there, and it's from then on there, it's, you know, most of these guys are from the '69 Chiefs team, so it just shows to you how impactful that team was. So, you know, bringing a second championship in this fake believe kind of experience. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of guys from that Super Bowl championship team. They just were that valuable. They were a big part of why they got a ring. So, not many guys from, you know, so far this type of era, just because there just hasn't been much success for Kansas City. So you're gonna see a lot of guys from this era. All right, the other inside linebacker is another guy of the Super Bowl championship team, 3-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowler, Hall of Fame. Also his name, Willie Lanier, his nickname, Contact. A guy that was drafted in the 2nd round from Morgan State. A guy that was inducted as a Hall of Fame player in 1986. A guy that had multiple fumble recoveries, multiple interceptions, played in multiple games, definitely had multiple tackles, multiple sacks. Overall, you're just going to see a guy that dominated the 70s, of course. A guy that go down as one of the best linebackers in Kansas City Chiefs history. And like I said, you have Bobby Bell up there, you have Lynch, and you have Lanier. Overall, this is all part of, obviously, their championship team. A lot of chemistry, and so that's a big deal, and it counts for something. It just shows the level of play that they're gonna have, knowing each other very well already. Now, last but not least, at the right outside linebacker position, it's going to be Derek Thomas, Hall of Famer, 9-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro. Rest in peace. He died at the age of 33 before he started his 11th year or 12th year career. But he played from 1989 to 1999. 89 to 99, he racked up 126 and a half sacks. This is a guy that, if he played longer, he would have been the sack king, honestly. 200 for him, it just seemed like it was possible just because of the level of dominance he played in. And, I mean, he can play in any era, so I think he can definitely fit in with Bell and Lanier and Lynch. I think they'll be fantastic together. I think it's going to be a scary defense, linebacking-wise. I think Kansas City, that's pretty much their biggest strong suit from their entire franchise has been. They've developed some fantastic linebackers, and it's showing, you know, the level of play that they got. Again, they've never been that terrible at defense. They just have never had that offensive weapon to get them back to a big game, and that's a big reason why you just look at Kansas City as a whole and they don't get much success, because, you know, sometimes they just fall apart. But this is a defense that I think is Super Bowl contending. I mean, most of them went to the Super Bowl and won it, so they have experience. All right, secondary-wise, we're going to start with the cornerback, Albert Lewis. Albert Lewis was a 4-time Pro Bowler and a 2-time All-Pro. Played for the Chiefs and the Raiders. Played for the Raiders for 5 years, but he played for the Chiefs more. He played for them 11 years. Had pretty much 38 interceptions there, 128 starts, 150 games played. He had 7 pass deflections, I believe, or more than that. 7 forced fumbles, sorry. Pass deflections, there's no statistic on that. But 12 fumble recoveries for a touchdown, 4.5 sacks, 555 tackles. It's a guy that is aggressive. That is, like I said, to get 555 tackles, you definitely have to be an aggressive guy. You got to be able to not be scared. And he is a fearless dude as a corner. So I think that's fitting for a defense that's not scared to hit. So yeah, no, all I can say is I'm glad. I think he's going to be excelling on this defense. Another guy that's a hard hitter. Another guy that's not able to, not able to let him down. He's able to hit. He's not afraid. That's good. It's a good thing. All right, now the other corner is going to be Kevin Ross. Kevin Ross was a 2-time Pro Bowler that played for the Chargers, that played for the Atlanta Falcons, but played for the Kansas City Chiefs for 11 years and had 30 interceptions. Started in 144 games. Had 2 touchdowns for interceptions. He had 2 forced fumbles. He had 1 fumble for a touchdown. He had 4 sacks and 827 tackles. Again, another aggressive physical corner. That's what you need. That's what you want to get out of being in the NFL. You need to be physical. You need to be ready to go. And so, in all honesty, yes, I do believe that they are going to end up um, just they're just going to end up being physical, and it's going to be great for them, not for other receivers, but for Kansas City as a whole. It's going to get them into some. It's going to get them some wins for sure. All right, so now Daron Cherry, he is going to be the free safety of the Kansas City Chiefs. Daron Cherry was a 6-time Pro Bowler, a 3-time All-Pro, and in my honest opinion, one of the most underlooked guys ever in terms of playing that position. This is a guy that played 148 games, started 124, had 50 interceptions career-wise for a touchdown there, which is great. 2 fumbles, 14 fumble recoveries, 3.5 sacks, and, well, decent tackles. So that's the guy that played free safety for 10 years, never left the Chiefs, and this is a guy that's going to make an impact. Again, a physical dude, that's what you need, and the physicality is going to go, it's not going to diminish because this secondary, I would say, is one of the top physical secondaries that I'm going to have to really look at and tell you guys about, because obviously there are some fantastic physical secondaries, of course, but I'd say this is one of the most underrated ones because I think they will get it done at a great level, and I think this defense will be very, very strong for the most part. All right, now strong safety is Eric Berry, nicknamed the Fifth Dimension, 5-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, and a guy that battled cancer, got back, and unfortunately is injured for the entire year this year. But this is a man that when you put him on the field, he plays with heart. He plays with just grittiness, and he's been that guy for a long time. Ever since entering Kansas City, he has still been here, and I think that's a big reason why Kansas City has definitely lost an edge. When you lose Eric Berry, it's a big blow. He's a very big part of that secondary, a very big part of that defense. Definitely, like I said, his value is it's very high. So I would say Eric Berry is another game changer into the secondary, a guy that I honestly think would fit anywhere. I'd say. I think he can play in different generations. I think he can play in the 90s and the 80s and the 2000s. I really do believe it. I think he's a physical guy, so I think he's underrated, and it'll be fantastic to see this fantastic secondary. All right, now the kicker, Nick Lowry, a guy that is a 3-time Pro Bowler and a 2-time All-Pro, coming from Germany. Guy that played for Kansas City for 14 years, had about 329 field goals for combined 80.2 field goal percentage, as well as 479 extra points for a combined 99.2 extra point percentage. Even had 4 punts. So, like I said, this is the best option you got. And again, he's not unreliable. The guy has hit 80% of his field goals. So you're gonna see when you need him, he's gonna be there for the most part. So yeah, I think he's the best option they got, which isn't a terrible thing. Yeah, the kicker should be solid. All right, now the punter is going to be Dustin Colquitt. Punter Dustin Colquitt's a 2-time Pro Bowler, still playing as of right now at the age of 35. He's racked up. He's going to get 50,000 punt yards, of course. If he keeps going, he might get into those 60,000 range. You never know. It's a guy that barely gets blocked in the 12-year career. He's only been blocked 5 times, an average punt yard of 44.9. Guy that's launched it like 81 was his longest one. So he is the most reliable one. He's definitely put up the best stats, the most stats. So it's only fitting to put him in there as well, the punter of the Chiefs. Our return man is very easy. It's going to be Tyreek Hill. They call him Cheetah. He's a 1-time Pro Bowler. He's a 1-time All-Pro. He's only 23 years old, and I'm putting him on this because he's fast. He's very fast. And yes, he's also able to be there and have those running games. So, Priest Holmes can kind of have like a shovel pass with Tyreek. That'd be cool. He can also be in the slot. He can kind of be that receiver for you, which is also cool. But he's also been pretty great at punt returns. Again, he hasn't put up the best statistics-wise, but I know he's fast. I know he's going to be able to just launch it out there. He gives you all-around numbers, whether it's receiving, whether it's rushing, whether it's returning. He's a utility man, but he's obviously a lot better when it comes to being that return guy. He's been on the all-rookie team. And yeah, no, it's very fitting to see him on this list. So I believe that he should be the return man of the Kansas City Chiefs, even though only playing 2 years. Finally, the coach of the Kansas City Chiefs is going to be Hank Stram. Rest in peace to him, by the way. He did unfortunately die in 2005. But he shares my birthday, which is kind of cool. Anyway, he's a Hall of Famer, one-time Super Bowl champion, a guy that, he won the AFL championship with the Dallas Texans when they were the Dallas Texans. He won the AFL championship with the Kansas City Chiefs. He got him to the first Super Bowl ever. Unfortunately, he got beat by, a fantastic team, which is the Green Bay Packers. Was able to get into the playoffs again in 68, didn't go far. Won the Super Bowl in 69, and then went back to the playoffs in 71, didn't go far there, and it kind of went downhill there. But this is a guy that won 124 games, won 61.9% of his games in the regular season, won 62.5% of his games in the playoffs, a 5-3 record. A guy that was able to rank them around the tops of their division at 1 and 2 there, and was a very big success story. I mean, he's, like I said, he is one of the best coaches of all time, and all I can say is that yes, I do believe that he deserves a spot on this list of all-time teams and coaches. Of course, he would be really fitting as being the best Kansas City coach ever.